Okay, so everybody is familiar with astrology. Moonology is a part of astrology. I'm not going into a full moonology uh, lecture. We're doing an abbreviation so you can get started manifesting with what you'd like to have in your life. Moonology and basic astrology cross over a whole lot. Moonology works with the houses and the planets and the aspects, which are pretty simple. We'll go over that in just a few minutes. The moon phases, there's 8 of them. We're just going to actually go over the four basic ones: the new moon, the full moon, and the 2 quarter moons. How the moon phases can be used day by day, how your chart is very helpful for you understanding how to apply what you learn, and then making wishes at the new moon. Then we will move through the forgiveness, and we will work through releasing negative energies and things that maybe didn't manifest as fast as you wanted. And then we'll go through some examples. All right. So, as everyone knows, we have a sequence from new to full is waxing, and from full to new is waning. So, it's a good idea from the new to the full to bring things in, and from the full to the new, we get rid of things. Okay. All basic. From here, you can actually go through, let's see. I think I forgot to put that slide up, so I'll just talk about it. The 8 phases, the new moon, then you have what's called a balsamic moon. Then the 3rd quarter, which is like the half moon. The 1st and the 3rd halves usually bring challenges that you can work through. And then when you get to the new and the full moons, that's when the big stuff happens. From the balsamic, we have the 3rd quarter moon, then the disseminating moon to the full moon, and then the gibbous moon, 1st quarter, and the waxing crescent. The full moon is where you make wishes, where you decide what you'd like to have in your life, and then go about organizing your thoughts and your intentions. You can also work with crystals and essential oils, gods and goddesses, other deities, spirit. You can work with archangels, whatever you have in your life. You can work with spirit animals, totem animals, whatever you are used to in your particular path can be applied to this. From the new moon wishes, you go to the quarter moon, which is challenges and keeping your confidence. And then we go to the full moon, which is releasing and showing gratitude and forgiveness. And then to the 1st quarter, which is reevaluating your balance and trusting that things will happen. From there, you can actually define it a little bit more. From the new moon, this is day 1 of your lunar cycle. You plant the seeds of the future, and the future dreams. You have a clean slate, and you have all this potential to get started. When the moon starts waxing into crescent to the 1st quarter, this is where the challenges can come in, depending on what house the moon is in, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is where you may see the challenges. All this is opportunities. You can grow, you can learn. It's time to commit to what you would like to have. We go through the gibbous moon into the full moon, and usually you get some kind of result, even if it's small. And please remember, if you're manifesting something big like a car or a house, start slow, start small, and work up. You can't automatically get a $100,000 vehicle with one wheel. Start really easy, like maybe a pre-owned car that you can afford. Work on your finances, then you can move up to a new car, and then you can move up to a better car. Whatever you would like to have, just remember your steps. full moon, it's also time to give your gratitude. Gratitude is a really, really big breaker of karma. If you have anything hanging around. So always be thankful, even if it's just the little things. And there are times where it's difficult. You maybe wake up and you're not feeling great. Things are happening in a negative manner. And you can be thankful for a roof over your head, enough money in the bank to buy groceries and pay the light bill. You can be very thankful for a soft pillow to put your head on at night. And as everyone knows, like attracts like. So if you're grateful, then that gratefulness is going to attract more things into your life. You can also release all the things you don't want. You can write down on a piece of paper, make a list. Full moon intentions also are wonderful to write down. Make that list of the things you want to release into the universe. And if you can burn the paper. From there, you can do a reevaluation. From the full moon, we start waning and we get to the disseminating moon where you can relax a little bit and regroup. And then we get the third quarter moon, which usually happens about 7 to 10 days after the full moon. And then trust that things will happen in your life. Maintain your balance. The balsamic moon is around 10 and a half days after the full moon. And this is the time for surrendering to the divine. It's also time for healing and forgiveness and being thankful. Again, with the gratitude, it's super important. You can be in tune with the moon in a lot of different ways. Drumming, which we do on a regular basis. You can dance, you can chant. And there's many different kinds of dancing and chanting and drumming. You can work with the gods and goddesses. You can set up an altar to your moon work. You can work with spirit deities, archangels, like I mentioned before. Crystals, you can make energy grids and crystal grids. If you're going to move into that, I would suggest that you work with light color and living white stones and crystals at the new moon, and then dark stones and crystals at the full moon. Essential oils can also come into play if you work with those. Candle magic, color magic, the tarot, the oracle cards are very good also. Manifestation is all about being thankful and giving forgiveness, not just to others, but to yourself. Holding your intentions, being actually very honest with yourself about your intentions. Do you just want it because somebody else wants it? Or do you just want it because it's a habit that you've wanted it for a long time? Is it for your higher good to want this thing and receive it? Because sometimes you wish for something, you get it, and it's not what you think it could be. All right? Surrender to the universe. Let the universe help you. Like I mentioned before, forgiveness burns karma. But one of the secrets of manifestation is when you ask for something, if you believe strong enough, then you can have it. Manifesting your thoughts, have a clear mental image, have a positive attitude, positive emotions. Try to maintain that balance. The rhythm of the moon is very important. Sometimes we have different moon phases and the moon reacts differently when it goes into different signs and different houses. And we'll review that in just a little bit. Have faith that things will happen in a positive manner. No matter what happens, know it's for your higher good. Every cause leads to some kind of effect. And always, and I'm going to say this a lot, have gratitude, no matter what it is. Believe that you are worthy. Okay? So what you're seeing on the screen is the basic signs of astrology. Briefly go over this, and I'm going to review just a little bit about houses and about how the signs work. So If you'll look over to the left where it says Aries, that's ruled by Mars. Okay, Taurus is ruled by Venus. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And there are several planets that rule multiple signs. And for instance, if you're an Aquarius and an older, mature Aquarius, then Saturn and Mars also rule that planet. Scorpio and Aries is also ruled by Mars. Taurus and Libra are ruled by Venus. And there are several signs also that only have one ruler. That's not to say one fights with the other. They work in combination. So Aries is the bull. Okay, that's in March. It's a fire sign. Taurus is the bull. It's an earth sign. The twins, Gemini, is air. The crab, Cancer, is a water sign. The lion, which is Leo, is fire. Virgo, the virgin, is earth. The scales, which is Libra, is air. The Scorpio is a water sign. The centaur, which is Sagittarius, is fire. The sea goat is Capricorn, very earthy. The water bearer is Aquarius, which is water. And the Pisces, which is the two fish, is, the water bearer Aquarius is air. The Pisces two fish is water. Okay. So that's the basic rundown. Let's see. This adds extra layers to learning how the moon works through everything. So, for instance, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and of course, that's going to be the leader. They're very determined. They have courage. New moons in Aries are really good for makeovers and things. And Taurus is very good for self-esteem. Everybody's heard of the Wolf of Wall Street. That is a very Taurian thing to do, is work on Wall Street. Taurus also likes creature comforts. Mercury is all about communication, being flirty, having fun, listening, reading, writing, self-expression. Cancer is a moon child. They're very home-oriented, family, nurturing. This is also the association with the mother. Leo, the sun, the giver of life, can be a little self-centered. They're very, very creative. They express themselves in the creative nature. Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, like Gemini. They enjoy being of service and helping people. They're mostly self-made. They're like bean counters. A lot of Virgos enjoy little details and things. Libra, that's the balancing sign of the scales, are into relationships, one-on-one, important things, new partnerships, justice and negotiations. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars. They're all about mystery and allure. They like dark, gothic things, taxes, researching secrets. They like the shadowy side of life. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is also known as the Great Benefic. They are about building and travel and studies, mostly long distance, higher learning, like colleges and universities. Capricorn are builders. They like to be cheery and happy. They're all about the big picture and life philosophies. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. It also rules the new year because that's where the Chinese New Year is. It's in association with the beginning of February and the end of January, depending on where the Chinese New Year happens on that certain year. They like to help humanity. They're very charitable, generous. They can be a little bit radical, and they can be very authentic and very true friends. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. They can be a little bit sensitive. They like making magic and existing, being mysterious. They like using creative visualization for things, and they're very good at healing and healing arts. So that's just a little bit about it. Of course, there's a whole lot more to each sign, and we can get into that at another time if you all are interested. Basic houses around the wheel. Let's see. I did put that, there we go. Houses in the charts. So if you'll look over to the left, it says number 1. That first house is all about you. It's who you are. It's the face that you present to the world and how people see you. The second house, number 2, that's cash. It's your property. It's your personal possessions. Okay, that's specifically your stuff. Across the 8th house, that's other people's stuff, their finances, their real estate, that sort of thing. Number 3, that's your siblings and your neighbors. It's your creativity, your mind, your communication. Number 4 is home. That's your family, where you live. That's your foundation. Number 5, the 5th house is all about romance and creativity, your children. It can be also about sex and risk taking. I tend to associate the 8th house more with sex and risk taking. However, there's kind of a crossover, and it depends on your individual chart also. The 6th house is about daily work. It's what you do to pay the bills. It's about being routine, having the heart for service and helping others and animals. The 7th house is about partnerships, whether it's individual or in business. The 8th house is basically death, sex, IRS, rebirth. 9th house, travel, study, long distance things, broadening your mind, going to the higher institutions of learning. Whereas number 3 house is lower learnings, like the regular schools we go to or the junior colleges. It's short distance travels, whereas the 9th house is long distance travels. The 10th house is career. Now, career is a little bit different from the 6th house, which is how you pay your bills. So it's your ambition, it's your public life, how people see you, what you want to do. 11th house is your friends, your social circles, your groups that you're with. And then the 12th house, here it says self-sabotage. You kind of have to be careful about that one. Basically, the 12th house is where you have secrets. It's hospitals, institutions, medicine, and it can also pertain to relationships with your mother if you happen to have the moon there in your natal chart. So that's about the basics of astrology. Where we get into Moonology is where your moon ends up. Now, astro.com specifically is the site that I personally like to work with, and I've actually been an astrologer for over 40 years. So I'm certified. I took the Moonology course from the creator, Yasmin Bolin, this summer to help me and broaden my astrology practice a little bit more. And I'm very glad I did, because it was definitely worth the money I paid. Astro.com is a really easy site to navigate. They have changed it up a little bit over the past couple of months. But if you go to that site and you can make yourself an account really easy. And then up in the upper left corner where the 3 little bars are, that's your menu. You can pull down and you can go to My Astro, I believe it is, and you can make a chart for yourself. This is not one of the sites that does the full house per sign. This one actually splits it up as it exists in the sky. as everybody knows that when you're born, the planets are in a certain position on the horizon and underneath. So if you're interested, you can go to that site, you can type in your birth information, where you were born, the name you were born with, the date, the time, that sort of thing, and get a chart that's totally for free. And then you can actually do a 12-month planner with this information. You need to actually find out what your rising sign is. Now, the rising sign is going to be the first sign to the left that is in the first house. That's the way people see. So, for instance, if you are a rising Libra, people will see you as a very calm, balanced type of person, someone that is social, and with the characteristics of the Libra, no matter what the birth sign is. That's your presentation to the world and the way they see you. This will also mix with your sun sign, which is the sign you were born under, and your moon sign, which is a different sign, usually altogether. So if you want to take note of that, we can take a couple of minutes and we can continue. What do you all think? You can unmute if you'd like, if you have any questions at this point. See something in the chat.
No questions, but thank you. Very nice presentation.
We're about halfway through at this point. So getting through the basics is sometimes weeding through a lot of it, but just keep in mind we are on one focus with the moon and how it connects with everything in the different houses and with the planets. So the 12-month planner actually looks like this. And if you'll look at the little bitty note down on the left side, it says write your rising sign here and then work counterclockwise around the chart of the zodiac. So the first house is your rising sign. That's the sign that was rising up on the horizon when you were born. Okay, so that's what you'll write. So if you're like a Leo rising, you'll put Leo in the first house. And then if you go backwards to the 12th house, that would be Cancer. 11th house would be Gemini. 10th house would be Taurus. 9th house would be your Aries, and etc. around the whole thing. Now, this has a lot of information, so you can remember. You don't have to pull out a lot of notes that you've been taking. It's mostly about the houses. Now, you'll see dates on each house, one white and one dark. The white is the full moon, and the dark is the new moon. Some people call it the dark moon. The dark moon is actually a little bit different than the new moon. And when you work with Moonology or astrology, if you understand a little bit about work, you can actually do 3 days working with the new or the full moon. The energy is the day of the new or full, and then the day before and the day after. So typically, the moon spends about 3 days in each sign. So when it changes sign, then it's going into another phase. So if you put your information on the chart and then you look up the new and full moon times, and there are several very good apps for this. And also in January, I'm going to go over some, let's see, what was it? The phases and the retrogrades and things that the planets are going to do for the next year. I will try to remember to get them new and full moons in there, so you all can have this information. So for example, with that Leo rising in the first house, the new moon was on the 16th of February, 2022. The new moon was on the 28th of July. So from February to July, that is a big jump because it's not always going to be together. Your full moons are going to be one month and then the other. So the first house having the February full moon, full moon. Then the 12th house would have a January full moon. And then the 11th would have a December full moon. And you would be able to fill that in with the information. Okay. So, for instance, if you have a new moon, say, let's put it in the 6th house. The 6th house is your daily work. It also rules your health. Then new moon rules wishes and things you want to bring to you. So remember, from new to full, you're waxing. And this is a wonderful time to set your intentions. Say you want to raise. And I can actually give you a really good example because something manifested today that I asked for 6 months ago. And I totally didn't think I was going to get it. Was a raise. Because I was told about a year ago, we were on a wage freeze and not to ask for anything. And I've been at my job for about 13 and a half years almost. And I should have been making a certain level and I was not. So I decided to put it out to the universe. And I really focused on the energy and it didn't happen. So the next full moon, I just let it go back out into the universe. So it did manifest, not in a hurry, but my boss actually walked in today as I was eating lunch and she said, I have something to tell you. You're going to get that raise that was owed you several years ago. So it does work. Manage your time. Remember to release things that are bothering you. Have gratitude. Your quarter moons are also challenges. Say if you have a quarter moon that falls in the 3rd house, that rules your siblings, it rules communications, things that you learn. Just be aware that you may have a challenge and work with that. Give yourself a lot of grace. You can use your crystal grids to work some energy. You can work with your spirit guides. You can work with totem animals. You can work with archangels. However you wish and whatever would work for you, then go ahead and keep doing that. If you have a full moon, for instance, in your, let's go back to, let's say 11th house, friends, social circles, full moons. Maybe there was a position in a group that you're with that you really wanted and you were up for the position with 2 other people and one of them got it and you didn't, even though you were more qualified. Release that, write it down. Anything that you want, you can have. Set your intentions, be grateful for what you do have. If you have a need for a new car or a new home because something is happening, then be grateful for what you have and work toward what you would like. The new moon wishes are a lot of fun to do. If a new moon falls in a certain house, you don't have to actually wish for something pertaining to that house. You can actually wish for anything you want and also something from that house. say, let's go back to the 11th house. You have wishes. You wanted that position with the social group. Or maybe you wanted to have a better relationship with some friends or in a friend group, or you wanted to make a new friend or change the friendship to a better relationship. You can make that wish, hold it in your heart, say thank you for this friend. Write down those wishes and then write down what you are going to do to support those wishes. What can you do to help this wish happen? And then after you do that, release it into the universe. Let it manifest in its own terms for your greater good. There's a saying that I ran across some time ago, and it says, feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And my teacher, Yasmin Boland, actually repeats this many times in the class. Enjoy that feeling. Actually think about it. Use your visualization and feel the feeling of that wish as it is fulfilled. So what would that make you feel? What does your heart feel? Do you get excited? Does your heart race? Do you feel good? Actually think about what it would mean if you had that. And then shift your focus to actually having that as if it has already happened. Think about already having that thing, already having the desired effect, or having the manifestation of the item that you want, or the friendship, or the romance. How does that feel? Think about it for just a moment. If you want to, you can meditate on this. Meditation is a really good way to connect with the universe, to relax, to de-stress. Everybody knows how to get rid of that stress and that tension from daily lives. It also is very good for manifestation. And on the flip side, when you get to a full moon, forgive. Cut yourself some slack. Give yourself some grace. Give other people some grace. Forgive them. 3 methods of forgiveness that are really very helpful are reframing what happened if something bad has been in your past that's bothering you. Maybe a friendship that went sour, maybe a car accident and the insurance didn't go in your direction. Reframe what happened. See it from another view, another angle. Accept what happened and forgive yourself, forgive everyone involved, and then send it back out into the universe so that energy can reform in a positive manner and come back to you with something that you've wished for. Stop blaming yourself and blaming other people. Just stop the whole blame game. Understand that you accepted the circumstances and the lessons before you entered this life. Okay? Don't be the victim. Understand that you learned from this and you are better for it. The third thing is forgive yourself. Always forgive yourself. We're not perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're here to learn, and we're here to investigate and collect knowledge and enjoy each life as we actually spiritually grow higher and higher. Remember that manifesting is all about positive thoughts and mental images. Have a clear picture of what you like. Keep the emotions positive. Work with that cause and effect. And believe you are worthy for what you want. Practicing Moonology, you can also do it in your daily life. When you get up in the morning, and there's many apps that you can download on your phone to check and see what the phases are. If it is in a certain phase and you're familiar with know where that house is that the moon is sitting in that day. and you can actually see what's going on and be ready for anything that pops up, rather than just working with the 2 quarter moons and the full and the new moon. Forgive other people and forgive the situations that you sometimes can find yourself in that can provoke these negative feelings. Surrender all of the things that you're feeling to the universe. Give it up to the divine. Forgiveness burns karma faster than anything else. Don't forget to ask for what you want. Believe, really believe in your heart that it is yours, and then release it to the universe. So, full moon, wishes. First quarter moon, sometimes we have challenges. And then full moon, we release. If you have a lot of stuff to release, what you can do is write it on a piece of paper, meditate on it for a minute. You can chant, and it's a really good chant to give everything over to spirit or the divine. It's called Om Namo Narayani. You can chant that 3 times and just give what you need to release out to the universe. And you have the last quarter, which could be challenging in the waning cycle. Remember, waning is for releasing. Waxing is for bringing in. So anywhere the moon falls, you can check your chart. Going back to astro.com, get yourself your chart. If you are not sure about your birth time, check your birth certificate. If you don't feel that that's the right time for you, like sometimes you'll just have an inkling or an instinct that it's not quite correct, okay? Check with your family and see if anybody has a better idea about what time you were born. Okay? And moon guide here, all 8 phases of the moon are defined. Time for new beginnings at the full moon. We were talking about making those wishes, waxing crescent, writing down, communicate. First quarter, keep moving forward. Remember, we're still in the waxing phase. The waxing gibbous, really good for cultivating intentions and ideas, preparing for your manifestation through continual action. And then the full moon is the time to really push it forward and release everything. Waning gibbous, also known as the disseminating moon, letting go of things that don't serve you. Okay? Last quarter, allowing things to transform and letting go of things that you don't need. The waning crescent, the balsamic moon, that's the time to actually rest a little bit and reflect and maybe regroup. Okay? Moving on. This is a wonderful saying that under the glorious moon, I forgive everything, everyone, every experience, every memory of the past or present that needs forgiveness. And I can give you a few minutes if anybody wants to write this down. This is very, very powerful. Really believe this. It's a chant, actually, if you want to go in that direction for the full moon, to release all the things that you're getting rid of. And burning that little piece of paper in the fire. Just make that list. Under the glorious full moon, I forgive everything, everyone, every experience, every memory of the past or present that needs forgiveness. And sometimes this is hard to let go because we think about things, we hold grudges occasionally, work through whatever it is, reframe, rethink it, Look at it from a different angle, and you can get there. Surrender to the divine. Om Namo Narayani. Surrender to the divine. This is one of the cards in the Manifestation Moonology deck that is wonderful. It's an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, but you can use a tarot deck to work with. Some people actually work with energies and crystals and essential oils on grids with the tarot in combination. Some people work without it. If you have a nice clear crystal and you're coming up on a full moon and you don't have like a rutilated quartz or maybe an obsidian type crystal to work with, that's perfectly fine. If you like that crystal, work with that crystal. Okay. The Moonology Oracle cards are a lot of fun. You can actually pull one every day. Some people pull tarot cards every day to see what might happen or what might be waiting for them during the day. And you can do the same thing with oracle cards. It doesn't have to be Moonology. It can be something else that you prefer. Pick a deck that speaks to you. Like the tarot, oracle cards can speak in different ways. Okay, but they can also be very useful. Stones, lots of different colors. If you work with color magic or energies, you can work with these on your crystal grid. You can just hold them in your hands. Color magic, you can combine these, working with all one color stone on a crystal grid or all one color in your pocket as you walk around that day. If you need a little energy, maybe pick a red. If you want to calm your spirit and soothe your soul, maybe pick a blue or a nice agate or a purple one, or just carry a nice crystal. This happens to be a nice full moon crystal grid. The one in the middle is called a generator. That's a single point. And what you do when you create the grid is that's like an activator and a focus for whatever you would like to bring in with those wishes. I didn't find a picture with all dark stones. This was pretty close. It does have a few of the rose quartz in it, which is fine. Normally at a full moon, you'd work with darker stones for releasing and having gratitude and forgiveness. And then again, working with those energies. Essential oils. You can dress your candles. You can just wear them like a perfume. You can put them on the crystals and the stones that you put on your grid. You can actually know the grid. You can put it in a diffuser. And there's lots of different ways. You can read up on aromatherapy to help your spirit be calm or creative, or maybe even a little bit more energetic if that's your goal. Lots of ways to manifest, but always, always believe in yourself. Thank you all very much. I'm going to open the floor for questions. I will be very glad to address questions on houses, on the moon in certain houses, on how to do things in certain houses if you all went to astro.com. And let's see, I think we have got that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. So, hello everybody. That's basically a very, very abbreviated Moonology lecture for this evening. And you can keep it small. You don't have to wish for big things if you don't want. Totally up to you. So, questions, feel free to unmute, ask. I'll be glad to help. And if you think of anything afterwards, you can post it in the Grove on Facebook. I'll be glad to talk to you.
That was really great. Very interesting.
Thank you. Remember, you're specifically working with the moon and the moon phases rather than just the planets. That's another ball of wax altogether. This is a little bit easier.
No, it's not.
Good to know there's more to do with the moon than just howl at her.
Howling is so fun. I like howling. Howling is good.
I'm interested in all those houses. I wanna put mine on the chart. So I start with my rising sign,
Yes, in the first,
and that's the way people see me. Because I've always walked around fully Libra, but my rising sign is Cancer. So
you appear to people to be a very down-to-earth home person who loves family and is a nurturer and very attuned with whoever is in your house, children, family, extended family.
That is so
Yeah.
very true.
the three, I'm Libra, Taurus, Cancer.
Wow.
So I'm air, earth, and water. 2 Venuses and a moon. I'm a flake.
This is an interesting planet. The inner planets move very quickly. Some people are more affected by the inner planets. Some people are more affected by the outer planets. From Jupiter on out, outer planets, or from Mars on in would be the inner planets that move quickly. And of course, they all have different times that they stay in different signs, the astrological signs and the houses. But yeah, when you find out what your rising sign is, then that usually kind of rings a bell for most people. If it doesn't, see if you can go back and check your time of birth, because it could be off.
Mm.
Most of the time it's pretty on target, because they're kind of fastidious about getting those birth certificates filled out.
I've never seen my birth certificate, but I've always been told I was 10, 10, 10. 10. I was born the 10th month of the 10th day of the 10th month at 10 o'clock at night.
How cool.
That's
That
what my
is-
mother
That is
told me.
very significant.
And I guess she
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Numerologically, that's also significant that you have a lot of 10s, because that is a leadership and a beginning number. And having that many 10s right there shows that you are definitely a leader and a pioneer.
Cool.
Hence
Yeah,
the 10.
10. I'm gonna go on that website and see if I can get everything filled out. See what happens.
And if you can't figure it out, then you can go on Facebook and message me and I will help you and I'll send you your chart.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So
Let me give it a try first, because I'm a
I've been
Leo,
on that
you know.
site for about 15 years.
Oh,
doing
wow.
work. I don't subscribe. I've got the free account.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I always like the free account. If I have to listen to a commercial, I'll listen to a commercial.
Actually, they don't have many.
Well, that's when you take a pee break.
That's right. Where else can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Kimberly. Thank you guys so
Kimberly.
much. This
You're
is
very welcome.
this has been wonderful.
Thank
Um,
you.
it was very, very full of a lot of great information, and I don't know, I just love hearing about it. So I was looking at what my chart components were, and that was really interesting, all about what yours were.
Find out what your rising sign was.
Well, mine is I'm a Leo by birth on the very edge, about as close as you can get to Virgo. I mean by an hour and a half.
Okay, you're still a Leo sun.
Yep. And then my
counts.
rising is a Taurus on
Wow.
the cusp of Gemini. Pretty darn close to that.
Yeah.
And then my moon is in Scorpio on the cusp of Libra. Everything is so cuspal. I've got like half the zodiac in my
Wow.
It's like make up your mind.
You're riding fences.
well, it's definitely give me a lot of like dimension in terms of over like being able to see big vision, big picture of things, and also have a lot of insights. But it's also caused me, you know, there has been some conflict and confusion that then not only is within myself but can manifest outwardly too. So anyway, but yeah, I haven't done anything with my zodiac with my chart for a long time, and I haven't refreshed myself, and I don't know if I guess I had it done once that really completed the houses, and anyway, but it might be time after this to try to take another look and revisit some things, since I'm considerably older than the last time I did this. So, and I don't know what you all think of like what's called progressive astrology, where you can kind of like almost even move into the next sign of your birth, that I heard of decades ago. And I don't know, because I'm so cuspal, maybe that's like a little more true for me. I don't know, but I've found that to be a little bit to be the case, or to be, at least in some ways, it appears to be true. So anyway, but what a fantastic presentation. If you did have any comments, please go ahead. I'll shut up. I'll quit talking now.
No, that's interesting that you're really getting back into focusing and learning more.
Mhm.
That's a combination of
Always.
Scorpio and a Taurus thing. Or is it
Well, I always love learning.
It depends on what's going on in what house also.
Okay. Okay.
Now that you have your chart and you can look at the moon when it's new or full, and you can see what house it falls into.
I still am a little unclear about things, but I'm going to have to see if I can sort some of it out, and I may need to ask for help with some of it. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to have to definitely do some work on this. So, yeah.
I'm going to put together a handout over the next day or so, and I'm going to either upload it if I can, or pass it on to Atsana so she can
Sure.
upload it to the Grove if you all are interested.
Absolutely.
Yes, please. Yes.
And it's basically got a lot of the same information that was on the PowerPoint, just
Okay.
not my little notes.
If it's easier for you, you can just email it to me and I'll upload it.
Let me get it organized in a little bit more of a, I guess you would say, organized fashion. I did as much as I could right before I came online, because I realized, hey, I need to separate that a little bit. But yeah, it is really interesting, especially the 12-month planner, because you can have all of the dates on there. And if anybody is interested, then you can actually go online to Moonology.com, or you can even go on Amazon. Let me grab my book real quick. I use this thing all the time. This is my Moonology journal, and it's for 2022. The 2023 one is out now. Basically, it's got the dates, and it's a calendar of events. Let's see if I can find. You can write things in there, It's got the moon phases and it's got the important information astrologically and moonologically that you can write down. And if that does not appeal to you, Llewellyn also has a really good one out, and I don't think I have that one. The Witch's Date book.
Hmm.
I've been
Mhm.
using these for years also. They're really good. And same thing, it's got a lot of places where you can put information and write things down. This one actually has different articles and recipes and
Yeah.
spells and things. So you've got options. And if you want to make your own, you can always make your own. Just print out a 12-month calendar and start journaling it. And you can keep it in a notebook. Hey, maybe we should do a presentation on that.
Yeah.
Making our own stuff. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another one along that same line that I've used for years also, although I've used the Witch's Date book, and I'm glad to know about your Moonology book too. I think I'll get that for 2023. I just love all the information that's in these. But the Wee Moon calendar, I've always loved those. They have beautiful artwork, beautiful writings, and a lot of good astrology information too. And I don't know, I guess because I know a few of the people that had, worked with it, that was significant to me. But all of these are beautiful. My gosh, thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you all liked the presentation. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I
Thank you.
believe Leah had to go, but she said a great presentation, and thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm so glad you liked it.
Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful holiday coming
Mm.
up. We will see you on December 2nd if we don't see you in person. And if
Blow out the candle.
we will. And if you need us, we are here. Just IM me or email.
Okay.
Okay. Birch, would you blow out that fire? And,
Look, the fire's dying.
Oh, the ember. Yes, it's almost embers.
Mm. Thank you all.
Birch, you're muted.
Here,
Sorry.
Oh,
All right, there we go. Blow out this
blow out
candle,
this candle, but
but
hold it
dear.
dear.
For everyone gathered here.
gathered here.
From this grove
Grove we do
depart,
depart,
but
but
keep
keep
its
its
lessons
lessons in our heart.
Blessed be,
Be,
so mote it be,
be,
merry meet,
merry meet,
merry part,
merry part, and merry meet
again.
again.
thank you all. Yay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
thank
if you're in the US.
you.
Thank